Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, welcoming you once again to another episode of our Delta Green run-through. So, usually the way that it works is I come up with a scenario that we're going to run for the particular show. I buy a bunch of beer, and then I invite the hard slingers of yore to come on over and rage with me. And we don't rage for 1 hour or 2 hours. No, what we do is we sit down and we go from front to rear and we rage for the duration of the entire scenario, because that's what we like to do. We like to stay in the moment. And what I'll do as the evening goes on, I'm watching the meter run on GarageBand. And as you know, I try to hit the hour marker for each episode. Most of the time I go a little over, and it's those rare times I go a little under. Well, this is one of those rare times when the episode break was better served at a short mark. It was better for the audio platform, and honestly, it's better for the listener as well. As a podcast listener myself, I know I would rather be hungry for another episode than driven under the weight of wondering when the episode I'm listening to will be over. So I decided to leave y'all with a strong desire to want next week's session now. But you gotta wait, and I'm sorry about that. But I'll give you a little heads up. Yeah, you know, we got our two agents listening to a taped audio cassette that Clifford Potter recorded with Montgomery Green during his time at the Hunt plant. I'm telling you, man, we got some quality. Remember, quality over quantity. At least that's what I tell myself when I'm watching that meter just barely tick over 40 some odd minutes. But I do have to say that I have already edited the final episode of our Future Perfect, and it does not fall short, nor does it fail. So, you know what? I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I just want to remind everybody, like us on whatever podcast app you listen to the show on, and leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget, subscribe to the show on our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. Hit that little like bell so you never miss when we drop an episode, because we're going to be dropping episodes. We got 4 of these bad boys. I might drop them a little early. But all that being said, let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents our Future Perfect Run-Through, Episode 3.
Can I look at the cover?
No.
No? Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Look at the photo I sent you. I texted you a photo.
Yeah. So I can look at that?
Yeah. No! You gonna put those on your head, or what are you gonna do?
Try.
Jesus criminy.
Thank you. There we go.
Look at this.
Joker.
Ready?
Ready.
Yeah, it's doing a little zoom in.
Whatever. I'm not gonna. You know what? Spoil Christmas. Go ahead.
All right. Everybody, Santa's dead. And he's buried in the root cellar.
From the IAPA.
And he's radioactive.
He's radioactive. Fucking commie. Red. Sorry.
Ready?
Ready.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, welcoming you once again to episode 3 of our Future Perfect run-through, and with me, the hard slingers of yore.
Hey, all right. It's going down in the fruit cellar.
Yeah. Waking up, everybody. So, you guys...
There'll be no sleep tonight.
You guys found yourselves in Clifford Potter's house. You decided that you were going to start policing up all the stuff that was left behind on his kitchen table, which was... What was it?
There were some gloves,
empty bottle of whiskey.
tapes.
Yeah, gloves.
We were going to
tapes,
listen to
a couple books.
Yeah, he's
24
got-
cassette tapes. I think I said 27, but it's actually 24.
He's got Public Enemy in the boombox.
Yeah.
We're going to listen to, Bring the Noise.
So you guys are going to listen to it here? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
At the house? Okay.
See if it wakes everything down in the root cellar.
Okay, so Ichimaru, you come up with the idea of deciding to listen to this, and you push rewind, scrolls back. See, there's only like 5-6 minutes worth of whatever's on this tape. And then you push play, and you hear.
Excerpts from a taped interview
interview with Montgomery Green, age 98, resident of Hellbent, California. Interviewer, myself, Clifford Potter, 68. We're talking about Hunt again? Yeah, Monty. Is that okay? Sure. Why the hell not?
Such a
He
nerd.
said people would talk about him someday. Did he? Sure. Said he was going to change the face of the earth with what he was working on down there at the plant. You know what? I believed him. Did you ever see what went on below the plant? Nope, I never did. Hunt that is, never really went down there either. He just stayed in his office. The bathysphere, we called it. It was all decked out strange. I heard it cost $100,000 or so to put together. It was hermetically sealed with big rubber-lipped cast iron doors like that damned battleship. Yeah? Yeah. It was all lit by those Clegg light jobbies. You know, the ones. It cooked in there. 110, sometimes 120 degrees easy. He liked it. Hell, he loved it. He just sat at this weird desk and drew his plans and cooked. No one but me and him could stand it. I was in the South Pacific for a chunk of time, you understand. Even I found it uncomfortable after a while. What was he working on? I don't really know, except he said it would change the world. The man worked freehand from memory, just drawing out things that looked like blueprints from scratch. I mean, with damn chalk pencil and some paper, and that's it. He just sat there and rattled it off like he was doing the crosswords. What did they look like? They were hard to explain. You know, he wrote in this weird code. It looked like math, like symbols. Then he'd redo the whole thing in English when it was ready to be built. So you don't think English was his main language? I don't know. He looked white. He looked like he was from Europe or something. He seemed normal, but once or twice I heard him talk in this language. Can you describe it? Well, it sounded sorta like South Seas lingo, like something from New Guinea or something. I heard some of those in the Corps, you understand. Did he know you overheard him? Once. Did he ever say anything to you about it? Yeah, he said forget it. He said he could speak 12 languages, that it was a gift. He could write in them too. So his personal habits, they were strange? Well, if he had any personal habits, I never slept. I only caught him dozing once. The guy ate only vegetables, only specially prepared stuff. It was flown in every morning by courier from Los Angeles. He'd only eat if I washed it by hand. He knew when I didn't do this. I don't know how. So he was a little hard? Hard ain't the word. But he was a good boss. Then again, I was used to the Corps. Anything seemed good after the Corps. So he was a good boss? Oh, yeah. Do you think you could go into that a bit more? Sure, don't get me wrong. He hated everyone. That was a real bastard. All the guys who worked for him, he never once said a kind word to anyone. Conversations with him were always about 3 sentences. He'd ask you a question, you understand? You'd answer, and then he'd berate you. But he was always right, and he rewarded loyalty and consistency. I had that stuff from training. I did everything he asked down to the letter. By that time, it was second nature. So you think he liked you? Nah, he tolerated me, you understand. Did he ever go outside? Once or twice. He wore those old goggles, bakelite goggles with blackout glass when he went. Yeah? Yeah. He could see just fine in the dark. He
He walked around after hours, sometimes in the rooms surrounding his office, in the dark.
So he wore them whenever he was in sunlight.
Yeah, he liked heat, he liked the lamps, but something about the sun just bugged him. Not his skin, just his eyes.
So he didn't like blood. You said something about that earlier, right?
Yeah, I cut myself once while preparing his lunch. And when I walked in the bathysphere, that's what we called Hunt's office, he got up and started screaming at me. He was really, really mad. Really pissed off. He stood away from me like he was catching.
Was he yelling?
For me to get out, yeah. To come back later. That he wasn't hungry. That my blood made him sick.
So you were bleeding a lot?
That's the thing. I didn't bleed hardly at all, just on a finger. The finger was wrapped in gauze.
So he saw the bandage?
No, I had my other hand with the cut on the door. He couldn't see it.
So how did he know?
That's the thing. I think he smelt it.
Well, that was okay. So something going on beneath the Hunt plant. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that notebook and map.
As you open up this notebook, it's battered and once water-logged or whiskey-logged, but now dry. You see that the notepad's been filled in some kind of baffling shorthand. Most of the pages are stuck together, and the information inside ruined on those pages. Beside the poor penmanship, it's obvious Potter felt no need to label the pages. He seemed to be writing about something he knew very well and expected no one else to ever need to understand. Some of the notes that appear to be numerical, such as almost 3 inches, 5,000 plus from culvert, machine parts, gold with a question mark on the back end. Can it be shrunk? Dragonfly, radioactive, question mark, gate, question mark, and then capital A, capital N, and then the number 79. The majority of the rest of the notes are just basically wiped out, except for the last page, which shows a simple drawing of what looks like an odd pool with 3 square sockets on one side and wavy lines that are drawn in the center of the pool.
A pool, like a pool of water?
I'll show you what the picture looks like.
Oh, okay. All right. What's the measurements on that? Does that say? Thanks. So 14 and 12. I assume that's feet.
You know, it's almost the same dimensions as the root cellar. Because the root cellar is
16.
12 by 16.
Yeah.
This looks to be 14 by 12, maybe? Is that what it says at the bottom? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's about the same dimensions as the root
It's so
cellar.
blurry in his notebook that it's difficult to tell.
Okay.
Detectiving advice. For the people who were listening, use my phone, zoomed in on it.
All right, let's
Deleted.
the map. What does it show?
Looks like it's hand-drawn, and you could tell that Clifford obviously fashioned this with great care. It looks like it's drawn from a bird's eye view. It looks like the layout of a large structure, possibly a building of sorts. It's got numbers. It's possible they could be distances. It's hard to tell, but this is what it looks like.
Okay. 5,000 feet to culvert. Okay.
2.3 miles away from Hell's Bend. Okay.
Well, the owner of the Bobcat had it on GPS, so if we need the exact location of the culvert, I assume the sheriff would know too, but...
Right. All right, let's go back out to the root cellar and dig up what's in there.
Well, we're going to look for shovels, things like that.
Yeah.
Make an intelligence check as you overlook some of this stuff.
A 50. Polly makes it.
I have a 50. 59. I missed it.
Paul, you realize that based on the schematics of whatever he drew and took a lot of care in drawing, that you remember when you were coming to Hellbend and you were within Hellbend proper, it wasn't even until you were in the center of the town that you realized that you were actually in the town.
Yeah.
And you would think that a building of this size, you probably would have seen somewhere.
This may have been the plant then. This may have been the Hunt plant before it died, because it's 471 feet at its longest continuous line, or on 723 feet on its longest continuous wall by 471, and then a little bit more. Looks like it's got an L shape cut out of the
And
center.
it blew up, is that right? Or it was a fire?
They're not sure.
They, from what Heisenberg had mentioned, he said that the plant had blown up, exploded, and
Well, maybe the bathysphere has not been blown up.
See, it's interesting. You got this marker here from the side of the wall, 235 feet in, but undetermined length from here to here, or from this wall to this wall, this
Right.
wall to this wall, in there. But that may be interesting. Maybe take a closer look at that.
you could see that there's a set of gloves on the table as
Yeah.
well.
What kind of gloves are they?
They're elbow-length gloves. They look really heavy. They have red dirt on them.
Same type of dirt that I noticed was washed off the dozer blade.
Yeah. And that's not around the house where we were, right? Like none of
No,
that.
nope.
That, and the dirt in the cellar was not this red dirt?
No, that was just regular brown
Okay.
dirt. But as you pick them up, they feel really dense, as though they're
Lead lined.
Thick rubber.
lead-lined.
Let's take these with us when we go back to the root cellar.
And there are 3 books as well.
What are the books titled?
One is titled Radioactivity and Geology, an account of the influence of radioactive energy on terrestrial history.
Some light reading.
The other one is Radioactivity and its Measurements. And the third book is The Aklo Language, Factor Fiction.
How is that spelled? Aklo.
AKLO.
Does that name mean anything to us?
Montgomery was saying that he'd heard him speak in a strange language, and now he found a book on Aklo.
Yeah, I mean, does that name ring anything bells for you?
No, I don't think so. My guy does speak Russian, Chinese, and Spanish, but not Aklo.
As you look at the books, you notice that they all have invoices in them from Amazon. Looks like they were purchased a couple of years ago. But in the back of the Aklo book, there's looks like some kind of a hand-drawn page within, and it looks just like this. You see 6 squares. They all look to be the same size with these linear markings on them. And then above each square, he wrote letters or 3-letter words or whatever. Why don't you tell me what that says, Adesso?
It says Asa, Su, Shi, Sek, Sesh, Shi. And then Shi, rather than an SHE versus an SHI. So. And then the translations for Asa are the west, the end, or the last. Sun would be the east, the first, or the one. Shi would be the between, transitional, or the middle. Sek, the north, above, up, or cold. Shesh, south, below, down, or warm. And then Shi, time before and the predecessor, with 6 symbols that correspond to the translations.
And that's everything on the table.
Alrighty. And it's sesh, not a shesh. Just in case we're saying things we don't want to mispronounce them.
Of course not. We wouldn't want to offend any native Aklo speaker.
Or
Well, it's
something
factor
else.
fiction.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do?
All right, let's take all that stuff, put it in the car, grab the lead-lined gloves, and go back to the root cellar.
Okay.
Well, do we want to continue on the root cellar, or do we want to, well, what time is it now? It was around 4.
It's probably about 5:10.
2 hours at best of sun.
Yeah.
So we save the old Hunt place, if that's indeed the case, what it is. We'll save that for tomorrow.
Well, okay, yeah.
We don't want to do that now
No,
in
no,
2
too
hours
late.
in sunset.
Let's just go back to the roots, Sarah, because I'm thinking it's probably whatever he's buried there isn't buried very deep. At least I wouldn't think so.
Well, what happens when we... Okay, thinking about that. What happens when we dig and it starts getting more and more? We're ill-equipped to handle that.
True, but let's find out what. Well, let's start digging. If it gets worse and worse, and then we reach a
Then
point
we go
where
with
it's
the plan
danger.
that I had suggested?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Murder suicide.
Break the phone chips. Insert. Boop. Okay, well, let's... Let's... then I will... I don't assume that there would be any evidence on these gloves since they were in the house and not with the body that died, so I will put them on and whatever that would help, and maybe if I'm handling something, and then dig
Okay.
a little bit. Were we able to find any other sort of tools?
You say you found some kind of gardening shovels.
Okay.
Whatever.
Then, yeah, I'll start doing that, being very gentle with what I'm doing, assuming that there's something underneath there that I don't want to break. So no full boot, none of that.
I was thinking like one of those little.
Oh, a little hoe?
Little hand spades.
Hand trowel.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was implying.
Oh,
So.
great.
You want one of the big.
Well, I was looking at something to put me at a little bit of a distance and not, hand to hand with a.
I mean, there's other
shovel.
shovels too, like full length 4-foot shovels.
That's what I'm looking for. More of a staff than a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Than a bow.
Yeah.
Odessa, what are you doing?
I'm going to cover the hole just in case something comes unpleasantly out of it. Although I don't think that's likely, but it can't hurt. Only one person can dig anyway.
Okay. So you start
Well, we got the little hand.
digging gently.
Yeah. Does the ground feel hard packed or
No,
is
it's
it...
not hard packed at all.
Okay.
And I'll keep my eye on the Geiger counter.
At about 8 inches down, the shovel hits something metallic.
Okay. I would like to kind of start pushing the area or digging to try to find the edges if I can.
Okay.
Unless it feels like I'm feeling edges now.
Well, as you move around, you feel like you do feel the edge of something, but it feels as though it's kind of slippery.
Oh, lovely.
But it doesn't feel very big. It
Like
only
a
feels
skull.
like maybe 3 inches or so as you go from one end, and as you get to the other end, you hit something that sounds glass.
Okay. Well, what were the notes that he was saying? 3 inches, something or other. Remember we were listening to that? Or were we reading that?
Yeah, there was a couple things. Dragonfly, 5,000 feet from color, AN 79. Yeah, a couple little things.
But not the one I was asking about, no.
No, I didn't take a note on that.
Okay. Well, then maybe I will go to hand trowel now. And what about the counter? Is it beeping more?
Yeah, it's beeping at between about 75, 80
Okay, well,
rounds. Going up there to... Doesn't seem to peak past 100, though. Just
Okay. Well, then let's maybe get a little bit closer now and start trying to dig around it. I'm wearing the gloves, if
Okay.
that'll help.
Yeah, you move it around, you see that what you were initially thinking was something slippery was, in fact, some kind of a metal cube that was in a Ziploc baggie, and you were moving the baggie around.
Oh, okay.
And next to it appears to be like a pickle jar, I don't know, maybe 18 inches by maybe 14 in diameter.
Jesus.
But it's so dirty you can't tell what's inside of it.
Okay. And then once I remove those from where it was, there's nothing else in
There's
there.
nothing else in there.
What's the Geiger counter doing?
It's staying the same. As you pick up the pickle jar, you hear it as though there's something liquid sloshing around within.
Okay, but we can't see because
You
it's
can't tell
dirty.
because it's so dirty.
So, do we want to would you want to get out of the cellar right now?
Is that everything there?
That's everything that's in the hole.
Of course, he put it in the cellar for a reason. So,
Well, it's radioactive. That's probably why it's killing all the grass. So
Okay.
we'll pick it up and then keep it for our guys who are coming tomorrow and telling them about it. But yeah, let's.
well, do we want to clean the thing? Do we want to open
Yeah.
up the Ziploc and see the metal cube that's going to make
Yeah,
metallic
absolutely.
objects fly?
Sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
As I go insane.
Tell me what you're gonna do.
I think, is it still light enough outside to...
Yeah, but you're underground right now. You have to take it upside.
No, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still light outside, right? So
Yeah.
can I move this closer to where maybe light coming in from the stairs and I can try to
Sure. Yeah.
dust the area,
What are you dusting?
the glass?
Okay.
So you pick up this large jar.
Can I handle that pretty easily? My
Yeah,
strength is
it probably,
14.
Yeah, it probably weighs like 12 pounds or something like that, 14
shit.
pounds. It's just cumbersome the way it is.
Okay.
Swiping the side of it, and you see it reveals it is filled with a thick, clear liquid.
No head floating in it or anything that I can see?
No, but actually what you do see inside is a huge insect.
Okay.
A dragonfly, in fact, by eyeballing it. That would be about 30 inches from tip to tail.
Jesus.
Wait a minute.
Does one of its wings look like what we had?
Yeah, exactly. One of
No,
those things looks
it
like what
doesn't.
it is.
Its wings are crushed, but 2 of them are missing. And it's obviously suffered severe trauma, whatever killed this thing. And it's curled in its death position in the liquid, rolled up like a spiral. And as you see this, it's just amazing of what it is. I need you to make a sand check on this.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just a bug.
Just a bug, he says.
Where am I looking?
Are you looking
Oh,
at
yeah,
it too,
right there.
Tom?
Yeah.
Or,
Two-tone.
Paulie?
Yep. Paulie's going to be looking at it too, man, because he's got to know.
All right.
Cool. 10. Or actually, 01. 01, man. This is not bothering him at all.
Failed.
Did you?
Yeah. That looks like a critical fail.
Oh, what is it?
66?
No, that one's a 9, isn't it?
Yep, you're right.
3 points of sand damage. As you reel from the knowledge of this, and that you would immediately know that this is probably the largest insect to have ever existed on this planet. It's unbelievable that something like this is even here. Does anybody have anything in archaeology or anthropology or science?
Science. Nope.
That's a negative. Yep.
But you do know that it was buried here for a reason. It's just like, hey, look, I found this. I mean, for what this thing looks like, it would possibly be like finding the Holy Grail. I mean, just people would probably kill.
If I were an entomologist.
Yeah. Some university.
I think that's a bug doctor. Or a bug dude.
We're going archaeology.
Hey, man.
So, looking at this thing, you're just like, fuck.
Okay.
You just take this
Well-
Odesso, you know.
Well, I think what we should do is if it's radioactive. Radioactive? It's not?
Nope, because you're next
It's
to that.
the other thing.
The other
Okay.
thing is still in the middle of the room.
Okay, so do you think we take this with us, or do we leave it here for the guys to come?
We take it all. Well, we'll take it with us so then they can get.
Oh, what about the radioactive stuff? We take that.
Let's
you think,
take
too?
that. Well, yes. Let's take that and stage it somewhere else.
Is the cube that's in the bag small enough to fit inside one of the gloves?
Yeah, I'm going to say it would be.
Okay, because
But
we
it-
could do that.
As you look at this cube, by the way, you notice that all 6 sides have markings on it.
Yeah,
And they look just like the ones that you
Yeah.
looked at that were found in the ACLO book.
Okay. Well, currently, so we know that that's his stuff. Okay. So what then I would like to do is,
But you also notice, as you're picking this up, that this 3-inch cube is solid gold,
okay.
and it weighs almost 15 pounds. So,
And
based
it's
on
the radioactive one, though, too?
yeah, which is something in and of itself. Does anybody have science?
Still no.
No. Bummer.
Yeah. And for the audience, because they won't know. Well done, Handler.
I'm not going to tell them.
But the gold alone would probably be worth $250,000 just for this cube.
Okay.
Paulie's like, check it out, man. College money for Joaquin.
Joachim?
Yeah. Joaquin?
Yeah.
Joachim.
That's a Swedish.
You're joking.
Or it's Joachim. Yeah.
Joaquin.
Okay, well, if we're looking to procure this stuff then for our people, instead of irradiating everyone, I could try that with the gloves, I guess, and we can wrap up the bug in something to protect it, like a blanket. Well,
Yeah.
what I'd suggest, just so we don't forget, before we leave, I'd like to fill back in the hole.
Yeah.
And
And
do
rake
the
over it.
rake over it
Okay.
as well.
Sure.
Once we're done with that area, that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
So just
Yeah,
so
so
we won't forget.
you've taken the stuff out of the root cellar.
Yeah.
Paul, you probably put it in the car, and
Right.
Ichimaru, you
We'll
made
wrap
your
it with
new
blankets
Zen garden
and-
and stuff.
Yeah, and wrap
Okay.
the bug, the pickles in some blanket or towel that we can find in the house that wouldn't be missed. Not the one from the bed, but something in storage.
Good choice. Okay. So you figure right now it's probably about almost 6.
Are
About
there
10
any,
to 6.
any markings on the cube?
Yeah, it's these.
Yeah, those right there.
Okay, got it.
Like the ones that you found that were on the page. I mean,
Gotcha.
they're almost identical. You could figure that he probably drew 6 squares to represent each face of this cube, and then drew the markings that were on each face, and then
Translate it.
looked through the book and found the translations and did that stuff.
Got it.
So, what do you gentlemen wish to do?
Well, we need to find some place to hold out tonight, and I know that we can check out that place tomorrow. That's, he died at that culvert, so, and that's near the old Hunt factory, so that's, I think, where we need to be going next,
Yeah.
as opposed to going to the ladies, the Laura Palmer, whatever her name is, Laura Mayer. It's not her house or the old trailer, I think, the Hunt factory.
You notice that that it is getting dark, and the last place you remember there being a place to crash down would be the Pleasant Motel back in Furnace Creek.
Okay.
All right. How far is that?
And it's probably take about 20 minutes.
Call
to get
ahead.
There. Yeah.
See if they
Let's
got
do
a
it.
room.
Yep.
They pick up the phone. They said, "Yeah, we got plenty of vacancies. Come on down. How far away are you guys?" And
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
I'll call Heisenberg next.
Odesso.
We,
It's twice in one day.
yeah, it's a new record for us.
Is it on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Do they have speakerphones back then?
Yeah, I think you could.
I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah, I think you could flip it open and just, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to be with my ear next to his.
Oh, how cute.
Ichi's here too. Hi.
Coochie, coochie, coo.
Yeah. I tell him we found some stuff that's going to need some special handling. We went to third victim's house, Clifford Potter.
All right, let's not talk about it over an unsecure line. Just tell me where you're going to be at the next hour or so. And
Pleasantville Hotel.
Pleasantville Hotel. Room is assigned. We'll let you know. The stuff we've got is radioactive.
And we've tried to make as much of a cover as we can, putting it in a leather lead glove. So we tried to contain the radiation by putting it in the lead glove, but we probably need something better than that. Someone better to handle this than us.
where are you planning on securing this stuff?
But leave it in the trunk of our car at this point. We don't want to bring it in the room with us.
What exactly is this?
It's a gold cube, 6-sided, marked with some strange hieroglyphs
And the biggest damn dragonfly you've ever seen.
in a jar,
How big is this dragonfly?
about 14 inches long.
Was it, 2 feet
Where the hell did you find this?
in the cellar.
this-
In the cellar of the third victim, Potter's house. We dug it up.
Take a picture of the jar and send it to me. 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few moments later, after looking at the picture, he starts talking again. He's all, "This is a Meganuera dragonfly. It lived in the Carboniferous period, some 300 million years ago. Where the hell did you get this thing?"
I told you, sir. It was in the cellar of Potter's house, in a jar. Next to it was the Ziploc bag with this odd-looking cube with the runes on it. We can take pictures of the runes too, if you wish, but we have them all on notes as well.
Look, I'm going to need, you can't leave this stuff in the car.
Where would you like us to
The
meet
value
you?
of that dragonfly alone is incalculable.
Where would you like us to meet you then? Because I don't know if a bunch of agents rolling up in a small hotel is the best thing.
You've been in touch with Makamara?
Yeah, he called.
He's already en route to your position. I'll have him liaison with you this evening. You said you'll be at the Pleasant Motel?
Will. Yes.
All right. So you guys get to the Pleasant Motel. First thing you notice, it says, free Wi-Fi, stuff like that. And the old lady there, the old hen, she checks you guys in. And, "One bed of 2 suites."
I believe 2 would be best because, I like to hog the blankets.
You G-men are so cute. She gives you guys a key to room number 12. It's outside, a couple doors down. And you guys go down to your room. Okay.
Okay, we'll put the cube in the bathtub because it's probably a metal-lined bathtub.
Wow, way to go. That's all right. Look at this guy. So you settle in there, put all your stuff in there. A few minutes later, you hear a knock at the door.
Polly covers the door.
Is there a
You should
little
take it.
eye hole?
There is.
I will take a peek through.
You see an Asian American in a suit and tie looking left and right.
Makamura-san.
Hey, Ichimaru-san.
I will open it up.
He looks at you as he walks through the entry and says, I hear you have some things that Heisenberg wishes to take back to one of the green boxes.
Yes, we have a few things. Please come in and take a look at what we've discovered. I warn you, one of the things is radioactive, which is why it's in a lead-lined glove right now. And one of the other things is something from millions of years ago that is not for the faint of heart.
I would like to look at that. He
Okay.
grabs the jar and he looks at it. And it just, his eyes just start
He goes
blinking
insane.
rapidly as he takes 2 points of sanity
I will grab
damage.
the jar from him and so it doesn't fall.
Oh, you're assuming that's I?
Good night.
You don't understand what he's saying in Japanese.
He said good night.
He's all, what else do you have that you would...
Or goodbye.
I have a background in the cryptology, and let me take a look at some of the other things you have here.
Okay.
And he looks at the diagram of whatever these numbers are that represent distances and stuff. This looks like some kind of a structure, someplace close.
Indeed.
We are almost 2.5 miles from Hellbend and to Corvoot. Okay, and this other thing.
Yeah, we think this could be the ruins of the old factory.
It is possible there is nothing else. We tried to look before.
And there's some sort
Sending you here.
of something here that you can take a look at as well. And
You look-
maybe
He looks at that wavy pool thing and he says, there are these 3 square slots to the left side.
similar to this square cube that we have here.
Yes, do we know if the other 2 are here or if there are 3 and this is a 4th one?
No, we haven't found the other two yet.
We have this one.
Yeah.
So if these diagrams, which were found together, have anything to do with... I doubt the giant dragonfly is something that we can use, but a small square here and a small square that we have here, this gold one, might be something that we need to hold on to. So if we can, I don't think we should turn this in, while all the notes and the other things, I think, are something we may want to get to Heisenberg.
Yes, that is a good idea. I don't think that this pool thing is supposed to be laying flat, though. Or perhaps it is supposed to be vertical. Maybe.
So it'd be like
Okay.
a tower, like a cooling tower.
But we don't know how deep it is.
Could be a chamber. As a matter of fact, this other diagram where we have the circle.
That's
Or
right.
235. Maybe this was supposed to, or was found here, and he pulled
Or
out
beneath
that
it.
cube. Yeah. Or it was pulled in it, on it. Yeah. We'll
Either
have to go out
way,
to the site and find out.
We plan to go tomorrow. You're more than welcome to go with us if that is allowed. We could always use the backup and the knowledge.
I would like to go with you. I will give my men the other stuff, and I will stay here with you in one of your beds. So he calls out to one of his men on a walkie, and a couple of men come into the room. One guy stands guard out front, and they police up all the stuff. They police up the jar with the giant dragonfly.
But we have the cube still, right?
Yeah, they let you retain the cube with the gloves.
What about the tapes? Do you think that we should listen to the tapes tonight?
Yeah, let's try that. Absolutely.
Or should we turn them in?
Well, let's listen to the tapes. There may be something more intelligent on them. Or do the tapes look like they survived the immersion in the whiskey?
They do not. In
Okay.
fact, I think that was mentioned.
I thought it was only some of them were.
No, they were all destroyed.
Okay, except
Only
for the
some
one.
of the pages of the notebook survived.
All right, we'll give them the
Well,
tapes over
we'll give them
then.
the tapes. Maybe they can fix them somehow. Whammy them, bake them. Dry it. Well, I guess it's already dried. Never mind.
So you give them the boom box, you give them the tapes, the books, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I let Agent Makamura know that we listened to this tape. If he wants to listen to it, it's only 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. If he wants to listen to it, so he knows what we're coming from. And
He takes a moment, takes those minutes as those men are loading up the car, and he listens to it. And at the end of it, he stops and gives the boom box with the tape over to the last guy. They say a few words, and then the men leave, and he closes the door and he thinks about it. I don't know quite what to make of that Montgomery Green. What he says doesn't make sense.
What do you know that's different?
Well, what he says about the bathysphere and this Arthur Hunt and the blood and the dark and the goggles and the heat.
Yeah, the sun.
None of that makes a whole lot of sense, but
Well, in our line of work, it makes a lot of sense. Clearly, this Arthur Hunt is something other than just a entrepreneur who had a factory.
well, we need to clean this up because Special Agent in charge, Kevin Slotton, will be sending men down here soon if he sees that we are still down here. And you, although you are supposedly in an official capacity, you know your credentials will not hold up.
Well, I guess we... Are you suggesting we go tonight?
No, I think tomorrow should be fine, but we should probably do this hastily.
Yes. We rise with the sun tomorrow, but for now...
The rising sun tomorrow.
Easy, Dr. Strangelove. Yes, but we rise early tomorrow. Tonight, we've just come from another mission and had a 6-hour flight to recover, and we're back in the field, so we could use a little rest so we can be aware for tomorrow.
Well, then, let us get some shut-eye. So you guys close it down.
Is there a way that we can get... Should we get another room, too? We got 3 dudes. I'm not going to sleep in bed with these guys. They snore.
Yeah, let's definitely get.
No, he'll sleep on the floor.
All right,
he'll just
great.
take the spare
We'll
stuff
call,
out. They don't want
we'll
to put
call
it.
for a cot.
All right.
I'll ask the nice little lady there. We don't have to play this.
She brings it down. He sleeps.
Okay.
You guys wake up the next morning bright and early. You get him some coffee.
Well, I did check, and they don't have tea. They only have they have chamomile.
That's racist.
You know.
Okay, so
Would you like some tea?
Where would you like to go? What are we doing?
Let's go out to the site, to the hunt site.
Okay. What kind of car are we in, by the way?
Some shitty Chevy Malibu.
Okay.
Right.
I just want to know the stats of in case Slaughton's agents and we have to drive and fire and all that.
Whatever was chic at the time.
Do we want to stop by the culvert area? I don't know how large this is, but I assume if we get to that area, we should be able to see a ruins of a giant factory.
Oh, before we turn over that jar, I'd like to match the feather type object to see if it would match where the other wings would have missed.
Okay.
Didn't you already say no?
I said it wasn't that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not the same.
They're not the same.
No.
Okay.
Like a dragonfly's wing is more translucent
Yeah, and this comes from some sort of reptile.
or something like that.
Got it.
So getting up early,
we're going to need a bigger gun.
driving down the road, approximately 2.5 miles northwest from the center of Hellbend, you find yourselves on the ruins of a formerly beautiful asphalt road. A sea of destroyed concrete is all that remains of this once huge plant known as Hunt Electrodynamics, Plant 004. You see a partially ruined chain link fence surrounds the perimeter of this place, but it has large gaps all about it, and it is hardly a deterrent at this time. As you guys get out of the car, you see the sun finally rise up completely over the desert area. And that is where we'll end this session.
Awesome.
Because I gotta pee.
I had my coffee cup.
Okay.
We can empty the coffee and
Empty the coffee.
it sounds like you just did.
Emptied the coffee into
You better
the seat chair.
check your shorts there,
Okay, so-
counselor.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeart Radio. And if you like what you're hearing, please leave us that 5-star review. You could also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com. And be sure to check out the galleries. We got a lot of really interesting stuff posted there. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast. There are ways for you to help out the show and pick up swag. So until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass full as you roll those hard 20s.